Question 1. Which of the following best describes the primary purpose of VM extensions in cloud environments? Option A. To manually log into virtual machines for software installation and configuration. Option B. To manage the underlying physical hardware of virtual machines. Option C. To enable post-deployment configuration, automation, and management within the guest operating system. Option D. To replace the operating system of a virtual machine with a cloud-specific OS. The correct answer is, quote, to enable post-deployment configuration, automation, and management within the guest operating system. Here's the explanation. VM extensions are small applications or scripts that run within the guest operating system of a virtual machine, enabling post-deployment configuration, automation, and management. They automate tasks at scale without manual intervention. Question 2. A critical component that must be installed and running inside the guest operating system for VM extensions to function, acting as an intermediary between the cloud control plane and the extension, is known as the Option A. Cloud Control Plane. Option B. Virtual Machine Agent, VM Agent. Option C. Network Security Group, NSG. Option D. Public IP Address. The correct answer is Virtual Machine Agent, VM Agent. Here's the explanation. The VM agent is a lightweight process or service that must be running inside the guest operating system. It acts as the intermediary, communicating with the cloud control plane to receive extension commands and execute them within the VM. Question 3. An administrator plans to deploy a custom script extension that requires a sensitive API key. How should this API key be securely passed to the extension? Option A. Include the API key directly in the public settings of the extension configuration. Option B. Store the API key in a plain text file within the VM and have the script read it. Option C. Encrypt the API key with a custom encryption method and include it in public settings. Option D. Use the private settings of the extension configuration, as these are encrypted by the cloud platform. The correct answer is, use the private settings of the extension configuration, as these are encrypted by the cloud platform. Here's the explanation. Private settings are encrypted by the cloud platform for sensitive data like passwords or API keys, ensuring they are not visible in templates or logs. Public settings are visible and should only be used for non-sensitive parameters. Question 4. Which of the following best describes the primary purpose of the Azure Custom Script Extension, CSE? Option A. To provide a graphical user interface, GUI, for managing VM settings. Option B. To continuously monitor VM performance metrics and generate alerts. Option C. To automate post-deployment configuration, software installation, and task execution on Azure VMs. Option D. To encrypt VM disks and manage security certificates. The correct answer is to automate post-deployment configuration, software installation, and task execution on Azure VMs. Here's the explanation. The custom script extension's primary purpose is to automate post-deployment configuration, software installation, or any other task that needs to be performed on a newly provisioned or existing virtual machine. Question 5. An administrator needs to force a re-execution of a custom script extension on an Azure VM, even though the script content and parameters have not changed. Which property in the extension configuration must be updated to achieve this? Option A. Script URI. Option B. Command to execute. Option C. Force update tag. Option D. Protected settings. The correct answer is force update tag. Here's the explanation. To force a rerun of the script, even if the script content or parameters haven't changed, the force update tag property in the extension configuration must be updated. This signals to the VM agent to re-execute the extension. Question 6. During the execution of a custom script extension, which component is primarily responsible for downloading the script, running it with elevated privileges, and reporting its status back to the Azure Fabric? Option A, Azure Resource Manager, ARM. Option B, Azure VM Agent. Option C, Azure Storage Account. Option D, Azure Monitor. The correct answer is Azure VM Agent. Here's the explanation. The custom script extension operates through the Azure VM Agent, which is responsible for downloading the extension package and script, executing the script, typically with elevated privileges, capturing its output, and reporting the execution status back to Azure. Question 7. What is the fundamental relationship between an Azure App Service and an Azure App Service plan? Option A. An Azure App Service plan is a logical grouping of multiple Azure App Services for billing purposes. Option B. An Azure App Service is the underlying compute resource, and an App Service plan defines its configuration. Option C. An Azure App Service plan is the underlying set of virtual machines that provides compute resources for one or more Azure App Services. Option D. An Azure App Service and an Azure App Service plan are interchangeable terms for the same resource. The correct answer is an Azure App Service plan is the underlying set of virtual machines that provides compute resources for one or more Azure App Services. Here's the explanation. The App Service plan is the compute infrastructure, a set of VMs, that hosts your applications. The App Service is your actual application code deployed onto that plan. The plan dictates the location, features, cost, and scaling for all apps hosted on it. Question 8. A company has several web applications hosted on a single Azure App Service plan. If the company decides to scale out this App Service plan by increasing the instance count, what is the immediate impact? Option A. Only the largest web application on the plan will receive additional compute resources. Option B. All web applications hosted on that App Service plan will automatically be deployed across the increased number of instances. Option C. The pricing tier of the App Service plan will automatically be upgraded to a more powerful tier. Option D. The operating system of the App Service plan will be changed to a more efficient one. The correct answer is all web applications hosted on that App Service plan will automatically be deployed across the increased number of instances. Here's the explanation. Scaling out an App Service plan means increasing the number of VM instances. When this happens, all applications hosted on that plan automatically benefit from the increased capacity and are distributed across the new, increased number of instances. Scaling up, C, changes the pricing tier, not out. Question 9. Which of the following features is not supported by the free and shared Azure App Service plan tiers? Option A. Deploying multiple web applications. Option B. Using a custom domain name. Option C. Accessing application logs. Option D. Deploying a Linux-based web application. The correct answer is using a custom domain name. Here's the explanation. Free and shared app service plans run on shared infrastructure and have significant limitations. They do not support custom domains, SSL certificates, or always-on functionality. These features require at least the basic tier or higher. All tiers can deploy multiple apps, A, access logs, C, and support Linux apps if the plan is created for Linux, D. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.